we'll do a sort of bow in here. Go ahead, do Kyotsuke. We'll do our Shomeni-rei. And we'll do our Otagani-rei. Onegaishimasu. Good. So I'm just going to do a super quick sort of limbering just to get stretched out. If you didn't do the warm-up exercise, this will be good for you, which is like me today. I did a couple exercises, but not the warm-up thing. So I could use this myself. Good. We'll just start with a nice side lean. Good. Stretch out one way. Good. Side lean the other way. Nice. A rotation. Rotate the other way. Good. An opening back bend. And a forward bend. That's it. Now, without any sort of pace or a count, I'm just going to do about 10 squats. Just get my legs moving a little bit. Good. And then I might do a couple step lunges. So I'll do about 5 each side, down and up, step back, switch. Just trying to keep posture tall as I go through these. Very good. We'll hit a few more in just a second. I'm realizing I forgot to mute everybody before we continued on. That's my bad. All right, should sound a little clearer. Very good. I'm going to take it out to a shikodachi. Sort of get my legs woken up here. Rocking back and forth. All right, giving a little extra push to one side, opening that knee, then the other side. Back and forth that way. Good. Going to a long side kick stretch. And the other side. Excellent. And sort of medium to wide straddle with a forward bend. Don't have to be at your maximum right now, just wherever is feeling a little bit of a stretch. You don't have to push into it super far. Good, and bring the feet in and up. Good. So the next thing we'll do, grab a chair, something to balance on if you got a wall, anything like that. We're gonna do our leg lift kicking drill. So I've got my chair here. Good. Now the last time we did this, we did 3 repetitions of a single kick before moving on to the next one. So I'm gonna do that in the same format rather than going from one kick to the next, to the next, to the next, and then switching sides and doing that 3 times. So I'm just going to choose one kick to repeat on both legs for 3 repetitions. So we'll start with the front kick. I think most of you guys know these pointers already, but it's important to go over them sort of each time we do it. Keeps it fresh in your mind, really gives you that sort of checklist to go over as you're doing the exercise. So we're going to raise one leg. Good. Now here, depending on the height of your knee, we always say knee to elbow. If you're out like this, this is perfect for knee to elbow. If you're lifting your knee higher, if you can get it really up tight to your chest, getting your elbow on top of it isn't actually going to set you like right in exactly the position. So your elbow can be outside or even forward of your knee, depending on how high you can lift it. Good. We'll extend out, focusing on the shape of the foot, trying to get a flat line across the ankle, toes pulled back. Knee comes back in high and down. And there's Ichi. Let's do it again. Ichi. Knee, san, and down. And last time, ichi. Now, whatever height your knee is at, as you push your foot out, because you want your foot to travel in a relatively straight line rather than hinging at the knee. So I'm actually going to drop my knee as I push my foot out for the count knee. And then I re-lift my knee on the way back. That helps my foot travel in a straight line and down. Let's switch over. We'll do it on the other side as well. Re-lift, ichi. Good. Just make sure as you lift that knee, not going here, but you're kind of curling into it like you're tucking into a cannonball. Extend knee, san. Lift that knee right back up, and shi. Now you notice as I extend the kick, I often lean a little bit back, right? This is that idea of pushing the hips forward, but always on the recoil, I collect back in that sort of shell shape. All right, let's do the second time. Ichi, ni, san. Bring it back in. You should be crunching the abdomen, and shi. And one more. Ichi, ni, san, shi. Good. We'll switch it over to side kicks now. You can go ahead and do a quick shake out for your hips first. I always like to do this between hip circles are really good. Opening up right across the hip. Good. I do one way and the other way too. So just all those stiff parts. All right. So next, I'm going to be running the side kick. So I'm going to raise my knees same way as if I'm going to deliver my front kick over this way again. But turning the base foot, knee stays close to chest. Don't let the knee come out. What you don't want to see is this right here. If I drop my leg, see this here? If I treat my knee as an arrowhead, right? If I hold it like this, my kick is going over there, right? But the person I want to kick is right there. Draw that knee back. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead to roundhouse kick. We're doing side kick. So the knee up here, rather, same sort of deal. When you've got your leg tucked up like this is not going in a straight, nice path with your leg behind it, right? It's flexing the quad more than it is the glute. When I pull back like this, it's the glute that gets the power, that kick coming out as a stomp. That's right. Now that position with the knee folded in like this makes for a bad roundhouse kick and for a bad side kick. They really want to treat them very separately. Roundhouse kick over here, side kick over here. All right, let's go ahead and extend. We get knee, recoil san, and down, shi. That's it. Hope you guys didn't get too tired of standing with your legs up while I was figuring myself out there. Let's try the other one. Same one again, ichi. Tip it, extend, knee, san, and shi. And moichido, one more time. Ichi, knee is tight, knee, extend, shape the foot. Once you have the toes pulled back and the heel extended, then try to flatten your foot. See if you can point the bottom of your foot down a little bit. Kick with the edge. San and shi. Good. Let's go ahead and do one more ichi. Knee. Try for that shape of the foot. San and shi. Good. Now I make that point about the shape of the side kick. It's good to pull your toes back and get your heel extended, sort of this way. But that half rotation, sort of the other way, like this, turning your foot to the blade, actually serves a pretty good purpose. It keeps you from hyperextending your ankle or compressing your ankle. If you think about it like this, if you happen to make impact with more of the toe side of your foot by accident, your ankle can get folded back, right? Your toes just get bent back towards you. So it's this kind of flexion here. It'll actually stiffen that. If you turn your foot sideways, your foot will become a lot stiffer that way. And so if you accidentally hit closer to the toes on the target, and that's where the power goes in, you're less likely to bust your ankle that way. All right. Now let's go ahead and switch around. We'll do side kick on the opposite side from what you did before. Raising the leg, extend it out, knee. Try to shape it, san, and shi. And again, ichi, ni, san, shi, and one more. Ichi, ni, san, shi. Good. Let's flip it over for roundhouse kick. Now, luckily, I won't have to go over this again because we just talked about it. The shape of the lift for roundhouse kick being pulled back. All right. So as I raise my leg, I'm going to lift it off to the side. Good. Pulling my heel towards my bottom. That's it. Then extend knee, san, and shi. Good. Let's go through another repetition. Ichi, ni, san, shi. Then when I think about kicking for power, I know that my hip is going to have to be in that kick. So now as I lift ichi and I go to extend, I actually imagine how I'm going to drive my hip through to make that kick happen. San, shi, and down. Here, let's switch it to the other side. You get ichi, ni, san, shi. And again, thinking of the roundhouse kick as simply an extension of the leg is not the most accurate way to think about it. It's great for basics, right? This is how the kick happens, but it's really the hip bringing the knee through and then extending from there. So it's like links in a chain as you throw the kick. All right, so we've got our lift, extend knee, san, shi, again, ichi, ni, san, shi. We'll do one more, ichi, just for fun, ni. Having fun yet? San, and shi. Good. We'll flip around to the back kick. Now, as we go through the back kick, a lot of the same pointers as side kick. The one thing I do, when I do a back kick, I do blade my foot like I did with the side kick, and we talked a little bit about that. You don't have to do it that way. As long as you get your toes out of the way, it's good. But that's just the way I prefer to do it myself. All right, so raising the heel, ichi, also condensing the body, sort of crouching a little bit, extending the kick, knee, san, recoil, and shi. Again, ichi, ni, san, and shi. Moichiro, ichi, ni. Good. I'm feeling that stretch here in the back of the hamstring of my base leg. San, and shi. Let's switch it. Ichi, ni, san, shi. Good. Again, ichi, ni. Now, one way I like to play with my flexibility in this position, my hips are going to want to turn sideways. This is how most of us are the most flexible on this base leg. I'm going to try to turn my hips down, and you'll feel it tighten. Usually, for me, it's around the outside of the glute, down the outside of the thigh, sort of IT band area right here. And as I try to straighten out my hips so that they're square with the floor, I feel that really tighten up. And that lets me know there's a place I need to stretch a little bit more in that way. Recoil and down, just to get a little more bite in that stretch. Let's do one more repetition. Ichi, ni, here. So not letting this open too much. I'm going to try to point it down. San, and shi. Good. All right, go ahead, shake it out. You get whatever chair you're using for balancing outside of your practice space. Good. So I'm going to come on over. Any questions right now about the kicking drill that we just went through? I can see what you're seeing. All right. So I'm going to start in kumite. Pick whichever side you like. Right? Legs should be springy. You don't have to go, it's not like a super wide, low stance, right? You should feel like it's easy to move on your feet. Easy-ish. Good. So the first thing I'm going to do is lunge with my front leg and throw the back punch like this. Front hand is staying in guard. I'm not dropping it to the chamber. I'm Remember, the chamber is usually used in grappling applications. This is striking application. So here, back again. Good. All right. So once you have that, let me turn sideways and show just that technique. As I'm throwing that punch, I have weight on both legs, but my front leg should be heavier, right? Because I've just moved forward and I'm rotating, throwing that punch forward. So this leg should be heavy. The back leg should be a little lighter. So now after I throw that punch, without untwisting, my body's already in position to throw a front kick from the back leg. So I step 1, kick 2, and come back to guard. Now this can also be used with a step through. You can punch, kick, and come down with the other side forward. But just for the sake of this practice, we're going to come back to our regular kamae each time. So lunge and punch, back leg front kick, step back, boom, boom. That way right there. From the side, you get this. Here, notice that I'm throwing this reverse punch at a high level because I want to get their hands up here. Then I'm going to take that back leg and throw that kick right into the gut. Here, 1, 2, back again. All right, go ahead and practice that a little bit. I'm going to drill it with you for about a minute. Then I'll come over and I can watch you guys practice for a minute. Good. All right, drill it for a little bit longer if you like. I'm going to come over. Good. And then one more super quick note about the front kick. Just because we have to put ourselves in that situation where we don't know how they're going to react. So as I throw that first punch, there's a chance that they'd move back, which would actually be the best for me. Because if I'm really at my punching distance, that kick is going to stick out a lot further. So that's the reaction I want. I wanted to move back and get their hands up. But they might try to counterattack. So as I punch, they might move in. So this kick has to lift up tight here so that if they're coming in, I can still get my foot between me and them. Right, so here, it's got to come up tight rather than coming up this way and then out. Kind of tucks in underneath you and shoots out that way. So that's just, it's a good habit to get into because it allows your kick to work whether you're at the correct kicking distance or if they've closed in. It's not as good as getting the kick at the perfect distance, but it's better than not getting your kick up at all. All right, so that's the first combination. We're going to go into the second one now, which will involve side kick. So here I'm going to go from a regular jab, reverse punch, jab, reverse punch, or what we would say in Japanese, kizamizuki and gyakuzuki. Kizamizuki, gyakuzuki. So that's the way we're going to start it. We're going to hit 1, 2. Now this is a way to make up even more distance than we did for the front kick exercise. Here, as this punch recoils, my back foot is going to slide in, and I'm going to turn my body towards you, or turn my body away from you, turn my bottom towards you. So from that reverse punch position, turn in. 1, 2, turn in. Then from there, it's as simple as throwing a side kick. All right, so I get 1, 2, turn, kick. Good, now that again would be used, we would change our footwork a little bit in this kick based on our partner's reaction to the first couple punches. So if I'm punching here, 1, 2, and they do what I expect them to do, which would usually be to move backwards so they can get a little space to block. Here, I'm going to tuck that back foot in, just like we practiced. So I'm really extending the range of this combination from a single lunge with 2 punches. As I move in here, it adds a lot of distance to that. Now, we also want to consider the other thing that they could do, which is to stand still and counterattack, or to try to beat you to the punch here. So in that case, here, once I've gauged their reaction, this all happens really quick. Once I've gauged their reaction, when I pull this back, instead of sliding my foot in, I'm just going to turn backwards towards it, as if I'm going to do like a Zen stance this way. So here to there. That's going to stick your kick out in a similar range to where your punches would be. So as that person, maybe they block the first 2 punches, they're coming back to counterattack, they're going to catch that side kick in there. So those are 2 variations you can play with on the side kick combination. They get 1, 2, they retreated, so I move in, side kick, or 1, 2, they've counterattacked, so I fade back, side kick. Both of those are great combinations. Let's drill them for a minute, a little bit on both sides, and then I'll come over, answer some questions if you have them, or give some feedback. Good, let's see how those look. Good. All right, so this is going to start very similar to the other ones. Like I said before, this is going to be really simple and repetitive. On the punching side of things, it's all punches and basic combinations that you've already done. But now we're going to add in the kicks. So this one is the roundhouse kick combination. So I'm going to start very much the same way. Now, the kick that I'm going to do depends on, again, where my opponent is and where I am, or what my opponent is doing. So if I lunge in 1, 2, I've got this weight in the front leg. Now I can use this in 2 ways. So first, I want to imagine they did what I wanted them to do, which was to try to move back away from those punches. So I come in high, then I drop to the middle level because I want them to get their hands up to cover that first punch. Then I want them to kind of panic about the second punch. I want to see if I can get their hand to come down. Right? Once I throw that lower punch, my rear leg, which is the light leg, is going to come up for roundhouse kick. You can treat this as a step through roundhouse kick, or you can throw the kick and come back depending on how good your control with that roundhouse kick is. It's a great thing to practice, throwing the roundhouse kick and coming back to a regular guard, and throwing the roundhouse kick and coming back controlled to your stepping forward guard. So let's look at the combination one more time in completion. I get the high jab, Kizamizuki. I get the middle level, Gyakuzuki, reverse punch. Then that light leg behind me throws the roundhouse kick. Right. Now again, this is if the person that we're sort of faced off against, if they retreat away. So I do 1, 2, they've pulled back, they're right in that prime kicking range. Boom, I throw that roundhouse kick. Always come down ready to throw more punches or another kick. All right, let's take a look from the side. Good, so from this side, I get 1 high, 2 middle, 3 high. Good, one more time. Boom, boom, boom. All right, that's the combination there. From the other side. 1, 2, 3. High, middle, high. All right, so that's the first combination there. Now we want to imagine, okay, the person that we punched at instead came in for a counterattack. So maybe they defended the first punch, try to counter on the second punch. They defended the first punches, and they try to counter during my kick. So here I'm going to change it up. So I get 1, 2, and now I want to pay extra attention to that heavy leg because I'm actually going to use that to do a side step. So the leg I'm leaning into is going to push me this way. So I get 1, 2, go off to the side. 1, 2, off to the side. Now the other thing to pay attention to here is the foot that I just stepped with. 1, 2, this one's pushing me. But as this one steps, I'm going to point my toes this way. So I'm actually turning my body at an angle, right? And I imagine their punch is coming towards me. This is the kick. It's off the foot that pushes you. So if I just go to my reverse punch position, I get 1, 2. From my heavy leg here to a heavy leg there, and throw the kick. All right, now together that combination looks like this. 1, 2, side step, kick. In line, 1, 2, side step, kick. And one more. That's it there. Let's take a look from the side. One more. There's a combination from the other side. There's a combination. So we can see if I was throwing those first 2 punches, pop, pop, they come back towards me. I'm going to get out of the way of their attack. Notice I always keep my hands up and throw a counter kick in as they're trying to counterattack me. All right, so reviewing both roundhouse kick techniques. 1, 2, they've moved back from my attack. So the rear leg covers that distance, gets us in really deep with that kick. Other variation, they've counterattacked, sidestep, throw the round kick off the front leg. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. All right, those are the 2 variations on the roundhouse kick. Hopefully those give you a little bit of a sense of strategy and why those combinations would be put together, or why they work and how they can kind of find those openings for you. I shouldn't say find openings. They create openings is really the goal there. All right. How's everybody feeling? And for now, we will go ahead and do a bow out. All right. Get feet and hands together. Shomen ni re. And otegai ni re. Arigatou gozaimasu. Excellent job, you guys. Hopefully you're sweating as much as I am. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Good to see you.